What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a brand new review for Abbott Elementary, Season 2, Episode 19, titled The Festival, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and aren't subscribed yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Abbott Elementary. Oh, my desk phone. Somebody's calling my desk at 5:30 in the afternoon. All right, you guys. So this episode, we open up, and so we're in the teacher's lounge, and we see Janine. So she's reading this memo about, Abbott potentially going charter at legendary schools, right? So you guys know Janine. Janine loves to be optimistic, but at this point, everybody's like, I don't know how you can be so optimistic about this, because they're going to take a vote to turn Abbott charter, right? So, and Janine was like, well, if they do, they're not going to change the name. And Ava came in and said, yeah, if Abbott turns, charter, it'll be, I believe, Legendary School presents Abbott something, right? So it'll still have Abbott, but it won't be Abbott Elementary. And Barbara said, how Lee Daniels of them, right? So Jacob was like, who is Lee Daniels? So he asked his phone, and that's exactly what Jacob did. He asked his phone, who is Lee Daniels? And when the phone said it, it started talking louder. So he threw the phone. So we see as Barbara, Janine, and Melissa. So they're coming up with ideas about what they want to do. Is they want to get the parents involved, right? So Melissa's like, she's gonna staple something to the kids so that their parents will see it. Janine wants to, talk to the kids' parents to get them to sign a petition. Barbara wants to work on the church woman, want to butter the woman up at her church so that way she can help, right? So Ava comes out and they were like, Ava, what are you gonna do? And Ava was dressed to the nines, right? Ava says, I got a plan, but I ain't telling y'all what my plan is, right? So we see as Janine went up to Crystal, the mom with the bitch tattoo, right? And, Janine tried to get Crystal to sign, and Crystal, she signed without any hesitation. So Janine is ecstatic and happy that Crystal is on board. So now Janine has, she feels like she can go out and get more parents to sign this petition to keep Abbott from going charter. So let's pause here and move forward. So next up, you guys, Barbara. So Barbara tells everybody that, unfortunately, her plan fell through, right? Because Draymond, he got to the church woman and he had already buttered her up. So that's that on that plan, right? So what happened is everybody has decided that they're going to canvass this, because Janine told them that she was able to get one parent to sign her petition, right? She didn't tell them what parent it was. So everybody's like, okay, we're going to, Gregory was in. So then Melissa, Jacob, and Barbara all decided that they would join in, right? So we see them after school. There was this one guy that Janine was talking to. He was like, I don't support the well. She's like, neither do I. Then he was like, I'm not for, the plan. And she's like, that's not what this is about. This is about Abbott. He was like, I was better off with the whales. So then we see Gregory. He saw a car and he went up to it, and in the car was Erica. So he got Erica to sign it, and Erica was like, so you and Janine, so you're just cool with being friends with Janine? He said, yes. She said, I did spot a hesitation, right? He said, are you finished signing? She said, ooh, testy. So she gives it back to him, right? So the teachers reconvene, and they ain't got no damn signatures, right? So they asked Janine, who did you get to sign the petition? And she says, Crystal. And Melissa said, the mom with the bitch tattoo on the chest. And Barbara's like, that's one of the only parents who's active in doing things for her kids. So damn it, Janine. So we then see Ava. So Ava came back, and Janine was like, well, what was your plan? She's like, hell, my plan was to go for an interview. And she was like, where'd you interview at? Ava interviewed for Legendary Schools, right? So Janine says, well, why don't we just get all of the teachers together so that way we can talk? So we see all the teachers, they're in the teacher's lounge. Well, actually, they're in the library. And each teacher's just going around and pitching their ideas. Unfortunately, all the ideas sounded like crap until Barbara came up with an idea. Barbara wants to trick everyone in the community to sign the petition, right? So then Janine throws out an idea. Why don't we throw a festival, and then the only way that the parents can get in is if they sign the petition, right? And then Ava says, ha, I got an idea. Why don't we have a fun? My bad, you guys. There was an Amber Alert that just happened. Y'all need to leave the kids alone. Jesus the Christ. So, somebody's dog is crying. So, Ava says, why don't we have a fun festival and, trick all the parents into coming in. And Janine was like, Ava, why don't you ever give me credit for my ideas? She's not going to do it, right? So let's pause here and move forward. So we see as Janine is working with the STEP team so Ava came up with the festival. It's a very Abbott, I think it was a very Abbott festival, AVA. It was really for Ava. So Melissa is trying to get Jacob to go into a dunk tank, and he was like, but all the parents hate me. She was like, what's wrong with that? So Barbara is working on a motivational speak for the for the festival. So we see Janine. So Janine is in her class, and one of her students came up to her and said, Miss Teagues, are you getting fired? And Janine was like, no, I'm not getting fired. She says, well, I heard you're getting fired, and I'm almost there too, right? And that's so sad that these kids know that with legendary schools that there's a possibility that they may or may not get in. And what kind of education is that, right? And you say it's okay for certain kids to come to the school, but then you exclude other kids. There is a dog crying. Somebody's dog is whimpering, and it's very loud. So Gregory came into Janine's room, right? So Gregory feels like they need a headliner. So Janine says, well, maybe we should call Tariq. And Gregory was like, no, we don't need Tariq. So they went to go talk to Ava. Ava has this big poster with her picture on it, right? And it says special guest, Jasmine Sullivan. I was like, y'all do know Jasmine Sullivan is not coming, right? I don't believe Ava knows Jasmine Sullivan. I think Ava is selling y'all a wolf ticket, right? So Mr. Johnson, for the security, Mr. Johnson is security. Mr. Johnson has a curling iron, like it's a metal detector. I was like, I know you lying. So Amber shows up, right? Amber finally got her Telfar bag. She got a new boyfriend, by the way, as well. And Drake was like, we just broke up 2 weeks ago. She's like, and I just met him after. I was like, well, damn, Amber, you didn't give it no time, did you? So Janine and others come up to Ava and was like, well, Janine and Gregory more specifically came up to Ava and was like, so where's Jasmine Sullivan? Because the parents are starting to kind of put two and two together that Jasmine Sullivan might not be coming. And Ava was like, duh. I was like, this is Ava. Y'all should have known that Jasmine Sullivan wasn't coming. Like, did y'all really believe that Jasmine Sullivan was coming, right? So, good thing for Gregory. Gregory was 10 steps ahead of Ava. But let's pause here and we're going to wrap up the episode, you guys. So, Gregory called in reinforcements in the name of Tariq, right? So Tariq, he came in and he performed. And he got the crowd kind of hyped, and the parents were signing, for, the petition. And then Draymond came in. Draymond came in and basically told the parents, like, the teachers of Abbott, they're just basically lying to you guys to get you guys to sign this petition so that Abbott doesn't go charter, right? One of the parents was like, well, what's so bad about going charter, right? Because, then they thought about it. But then they were realizing, he's talking about, but then they started to think, like, no, we don't want it to go charter, right? So Draymond started talking about, how the school looked, and some of the parents was like, we think it looks good, right? The kids did the mural, the kids do certain things, right? So we're fine with it. So then he started talking about, they're going to replace the teachers. And, they were like, wait a minute, replace the teachers? Like, you can't replace Miss Howard. And then, so they were like, so what's going to happen then? So Draymond says, well, you'll see if, and they were like, if my child gets accepted. And you guys remember in a previous episode when the woman's son got kicked out of Addington, they took him back at Abbott, right? So that parent was like, well, you kicked my son out. And he was like, well, we don't really kick kids out. We just send them on to, do better. She says, by kicking them out, right? So everything that Draymond was saying was really working against him. And it just made the teachers realize that the parents know a lot more than what they, say, right? And, one guy was like, so there's no guarantee that my child is going to get into the school that he or she already goes to. And exactly when you think about it, all the things that Draymond was talking about, the school will be better, that the kids will get a better education, they're going to get better teachers. Like, these kids already have great teachers, right? And why would these kids have very good teachers who work for little of nothing, and then you want to boot them out to bring in new people who won't know these children, won't have a relationship with these children. So the parents were against him, right? So Draymond was like, well, you know what? Basically, he put his foot in his mouth, so he had to leave, right? And when Barbara said that he chose to become a jackass, I was like, well, you know what, Barbara? You ain't never lied, right? So that was really it. Now, the end of the episode was hilarious to me when Tariq was in that dunk tank asking the camera crew, do they have a car, right? Because he needs to go back to get his stuff to come from New York to come back to Philly. It's like, where are you going to stay? Speaking of Tariq got fired from Legendary Schools, because you guys remember Legendary Schools. So he got fired from Legendary Schools because of that song, right? Because we all know that that's California Love. It's copyright, right? He got fired from Fade for being a liability. It was hilarious to me, you guys. But that is the review of Abbott Elementary. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, please stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.